let's talk about the bizarro world infertility scenario where you actually want your period to start, but of course it doesn't, because when you don't want it, it comes, and when you do, well, you're watching this video for a reason. My 10-year-old tells me that this is the spot where I should really be saying, smash that like button and subscribe. So please do. He'll be totally psyched if this works better than what I usually do, and honestly, so will I. Okay, let's start with the big guns, hormonal period induction. Now, often hormones are used to induce a period-like flow using something called a withdrawal bleed, and here's how it works. Usually in a textbook cycle, the ovaries have little pods or follicles on their surface, and as those pods grow and then pop open and ovulate, they kick out hormones along the way. Now, in the first half-ish of the cycle, they make mostly estrogen, and in the second half-ish of the cycle, after ovulation has happened, they make mostly progesterone with some lower-level estrogen thrown in too. What makes your uterine lining get thick is the estrogen. What makes the uterine lining stay stable and ready for possible implantation is progesterone. And what makes the lining break down, turn into a period flow, and leave your body is when that pod that ovulated shrivels up and gets reabsorbed, and the estrogen and the progesterone both go down, 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 and then away. It's during the hormonal drop-off that the uterine lining breaks down and starts to come out, so a new cycle can start over again. In a withdrawal bleed situation, hormones, most often just progesterone, but sometimes both estrogen and progesterone, are given for a few to a handful of days. Usually it's an oral pill because that's easy, but it can be done with shots and with patches and suppositories too. Now, when the hormone or hormones are discontinued and the level drops down and fades away, if there's any uterine lining in the uterus, it might break down like it normally would in a textbook cycle. Now, there are two big contingents you might have noticed that I just said. First, notice I said if there's any uterine lining in the uterus. If the lining never grew in the first place, even if the hormones drop off, there's nothing there to turn into a period flow. So you're out of luck and a withdrawal bleed's not going to happen. This can happen if a person's in menopause or in any other situation where estrogen is either blocked or naturally low. The second big contingent to successfully getting a withdrawal bleed to happen is that the hormones actually need to drop off. If you happen to take the hormones and stop them and do this sort of external hormonal treatment right when your body is actually ovulating on its own or has just ovulated on its own, then there's a really good chance that the hormones from your actual ovaries are still going to run the show. And even though you've stopped taking the pills or the other forms of hormones, your ovaries are still going to make enough progesterone and estrogen to keep the lining stable for longer. Now, in this case, it's probably just going to take 12 to 14 days for a naturally occurring estrogen and progesterone drop-off to happen, and until then, it's going to be no dice on period induction. As frustrating as this can be, it's what your body's supposed to do, so patience is key here. If a lining is there and the hormones do drop off after you stop the external source of hormones, it's going to take most bodies between 2 to 7 days after you stop hormones to start to bleed. Remember, it's not the hormones that are causing the bleed, it's the drop in hormones, so you gotta wait for that to happen. And by the way, this is exactly why you get a quote-unquote period when you either move into taking the sugar pill week or just skip pills the week that you're on birth control. It's technically a withdrawal bleed, as in a withdrawal from those hormones, and it's not really a period because you never really cycled, or at least you shouldn't if you took the birth control correctly and it did its job. So those are the big guns. What about natural methods, you might be asking? Is there a natural hormone-free way to make your period happen? And the answer is no, not really. And that's both a good thing and bad news here. Good because it means you can't accidentally do something and cause a period, or a miscarriage for that matter. But bad because, well, you're watching this video and you want your period, and it would be nice if you could just eat the right food and press on the right spot and cause it. But you can't. What you can definitely do is help it move a bit smoother and faster if and when it's on its way. Let me say it one other way. You're not gonna trump what the hormones are doing, and you definitely aren't gonna force a bleed if the lining never built up in the first place. But if you're about to get your period and your hormones are already starting to drop, you can do some things to improve cervical relaxation, improve pelvic circulation, and get things going faster. As luck would have it, I have acupressure lessons, DIY lessons, on both cervical relaxation and pelvic blood flow on this channel. Try those out. I especially like combining those 2 points with either electrostim acupuncture if you're seeing an acupuncturist like me, or with a TENS unit that you can do at home. And as luck would have it, I also have a video about how to use TENS units if you don't get acupuncture. I even tell you which settings you should try. So check that video out too. Some other good options to help speed up and smooth out menstrual flow include using castor oil packs. I'll probably add a video on my personal way to do these sometime soon, but you can find some good general instructions easily enough. Just do a quick online search. Exercise and orgasms are also fabulous for improving pelvic circulation and relaxation. So is some good old emotional expression, especially if you're feeling all bottled up and extra stuck and stressed about getting your period. It's kind of weird, but I've seen it work enough times to know sometimes you just need to have a good cathartic cry, and it helps purge out all the stress cortisol and lets you start to have a flow happen. All these options have the bonus effect of decreasing cramping and clots too, and all these DIY options can also help with things like starting a period after a failed cycle, helping a miscarriage or a medical abortion progress smoothly and with less pain, and more. These are all really fabulous things. I really hope this video is helpful. I repeat, smash that like button. If this video gets more likes than my others, my son will totally be thrilled and probably rub it in my face a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, I'm out in the world cheering you on, and I'm glad to be on your team. If you want me to be on your team even more, check out my 90-day online fertility program. Right now, all new members also get 2 30-minute private coaching sessions with yours truly included with that enrollment price. If you want your period, I hope this video helps. Thanks for pressing play.